time since I've made a video, but I get so many questions about inking the edges of die cuts or just card pieces and layers in general, and the Ranger foam ink blending tool. This is not the same as the felt. The felt is used for alcohol inks only, and this is the same tool but a different piece that you put on the end of it, and this is a thicker foam type piece. And this is the most consistent, easiest, fastest way I've found to ink anything. You tap it on your ink pad. Notice I reuse my foams, which cuts down on the cost. So this one's basic browns. It'll work for any of them. And then you want to start off the edge so that your ink is smooth, and you gradually come onto the edge of your cardstock. I'm pressing very, very, very lightly so that I just barely catch the cut edge, and then there's a little bit of ink that smooths onto the surface a little bit further. Another way you can do this, if you want less ink here, is just quickly go around your die cut and you get a crisp, smooth, even edge. This tool is even better when you want to ink the edges of your Nestabilities cuts. You have the cut edge and then you also have the embossed edge. This tool will let you catch them both in one motion. Again, you want to start off the edge. I press a little bit harder on the back so that the front is just barely catching both the cut edge and the embossed edge. And this really brings those edges out and really enhances the look of all of your Nestabilities, which, you know, let's face it, one of the biggest reasons they're so popular is that extra embossed inner edge. And so you can see how it catches the outer cut edge, then leaves the cardstock color, and then catches the embossed edge just a little darker as well. When you want to use a different color, you just peel it off. This one is not as well connected, but I still use it. Peel it off, put it back on to switch your colors. I also find it really enhances the look of a card if you ink all of your edges of all of your layers. So I would ink this with a coordinating ink color. This is a Memento Rhubarb Stock ink. And then it would be on top of this layer. This would be the matte. So I would ink that as well. And it just gives your cards a real finished look and makes everything blend together better, I think. And there you have a much better finished edge to all of your layers. It makes the layers stand out as well as the whole card blend and flow much nicer. Another thing you can do is you can really bring your ink onto your piece. Again, start off the edge and just very, very lightly really blend onto your piece. And you'll see I get this faded, sort of a halo look. And again, you're putting slightly more pressure on the back of the tool so that the front just catches that cut edge and then blends softly onto the surface. And then another thing I like to do when I'm using this technique is then come back with the darker color and do your edges, and it really makes them stand out. It's not a sort of in-your-face technique necessarily, but it really does add to the look of the overall card or whatever project you're making. If you start on the cardstock, you're going to get these smudges that do not blend as well, you can't go over them and reblend them. So start off the edge, and then always remember as you change colors, wipe the ink off, because if you have another ink color here, when you start off your edge, you're going to drag that ink color into your project as well, and they may not mix well. And these tools, I've had the wooden pieces for approximately 2 years. I have 3 of them. I don't feel the need to get one for every color. And the foam pieces I will reuse until the ink, usually I have 2 different colors on each side because I'm cheap that way, and I will use them until the ink is just getting too muddied. But I don't find that I have to replace them all that often. So it's really a great deal, and it's such a handy way to ink things much more evenly, much quicker, and I just really, really like using these. So I hope you guys find that helpful, and please let me know if you want any additional information. Thanks. Another big use for these that I do is use them on my Cricut die cuts.